What's up, guys? It is the 116 Lyric Explainer coming at you guys with a special edition of an interview. Today, joining me is Big Mike.
Hey guys.
He's the same guy that was in Broke, the explanation Broke by Lecrae. That video is going to be in the description below. And we also have another special guest, Sam Jordan.
What up, Unashamed fam?
So, these are my two friends. Well, he's obviously my twin, and this is my other friend. And today, I'm going to be interviewing them some questions about 116 music. So, first question, you guys have anything you want to say before we start this?
I guess nothing other than I'm really excited to be in this video.
Yeah.
Cool. Feel like I'm with a celebrity right now, man.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
This is I could cross this off my bucket list.
Yeah, same.
That's
like, I'm wearing the same hat as him. That's crazy. Even though it's not mine, but it's still really cool.
Yeah. So, how has 116 music impacted you? You guys can go whenever you want.
I've been listening to it since I was in 8th grade. I remember the first song I listened to was How We Do It by Canon, Lecrae, and I think it was Thizzle, or it was Tadashi. Either one of them. Okay, Thizzle, yeah. But that was the first song I ever listened to by 116, and like it was so good. I had to check it out more and more. And I remember at the time I didn't have a phone or anything. I just had a little MP3, and you had to download songs and you had to pay for songs. So I would always stream on YouTube, and it was always out loud. And so my parents were usually around, and I always wanted to play like clean music, and I could play like good rap music, and I could play that music because it was clean. I could play it around my parents, and just like, because I was in 8th grade, so I would be like jumping around in the basement. I could play it from my laptop and not worry about my parents like getting on me or anything like that.
How about you, Sam?
Do
Do you remember the question?
Not the specifics of it, sorry.
How has 116 music impacted you?
Well, it's really cool to know that there's like really like authentically good music out there that's clean. Because when I was a kid, I was always like really careful to like cherry pick the music I listen to. You know, like okay, this stuff is clean and this stuff is not. Because like as a Christian, I want to listen to good clean stuff. And then when I was looking for Christian rap music, actually the first one I heard was Beacon Light, and he's kind of like an up and coming one. So like his music is getting a lot better, but back then it was like. Okay. And I was thinking, like, man, I just wish there was, like, really authentically good music that was really cool to listen to that didn't cuss or anything. And that is when
Like ones with beats?
Yeah, like, really good beats. And, like, lyrically good, too. And that's when I ran into Lecrae, and I started listening to some of his old stuff, and I was like, man, this is really good. And then I started, like, progressively listening to his newer stuff, and then I'm like, this is awesome. And the first album I got of his was Anomaly. And it was just really cool to know that there's music out there with such like deep, meaningful lyrics that don't cuss, who exalt Christ, and the beats are really awesome.
Music that has values. Like if you listen to like Lil Pump, like he doesn't really have meaningful values. While like this music, it's got values. Like mainstream rap, they can have values. Don't get me wrong, but like this music, man, it's got like really, really meaningful values, like eternal values.
It's music that matters. That's the thing I love most about it.
Music of a movement. It's on our hats. Yeah. On your hats.
Yeah.
And like, hold up, one more thing. Also, shout out to Beacon Light. He's really good. You guys should all check him out. He's good. Believe me.
The link is going to be like the link to his YouTube. And it says like all the songs obviously is going to be in the description below as well. So I was like listening to, I think it was 21 Savage, and like his album was called like Issa. I'm like, why would you name your album like Issa? Like, what kind of a name is that? Like, be like, I'm gonna name my album like Aura because that's like a verb, and then like I just add like a letter onto the end. Like I know what you're saying about like how sometimes it seems like they're unintentional with their music, but like definitely there can be some. I do like some mainstream rap, so. Don't you said, don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
So
one more thing, like that's how Sam and I got into it, and then the first whole album that I listened to was right after going into my freshman year. I listened to Gravity by Lecrae, just the whole album, because like that was the first real album that I listened to, and it was just so good. And I remember listening to Free From It All, and that was like my first song, and it was so good because like the meaning of it is that like you're free from your sin, you're free from the what people say about you. And he says his biggest quote is that, okay, so he says, if you will live for people's acceptance, you will die from their rejection. So, and that's in his song, and like that song really helped me at a young age. It impacted me to make sure that my identity was in Christ instead of in other people. Like you want to be defined by Christ, number one, and then you want to be defined by your characteristics and where else you put your identity into healthy things. But Lecrae is saying that you don't want to put your identity into unhealthy things or unhealthy people too.
Yeah, for sure. So like you guys really went into like your history of 116 music, and how would you guys think you would be today if you were listening to like 21 Savage, Post Malone, Drake, and like instead of 116 music? Like what do you guys think you would be today if that was instead?
I got a story with that actually. I remember I was we were playing basketball, and I was listening to music, and I was listening to mainstream hip hop, and I was like really angry because Jake was beating me, and that music like fueled my anger, and it made me even more angry. Mm-hmm. So it was like I allowed that to control my emotions in a negative way. So it was like, if I was listening to 116, I would not have been mad. I would have been chill with Jake beating me. But it's like that kind of music kind of promotes negative things like that. It can promote good things, but but like if you allow it to control you, it will. Mm-hmm. Like you can't really let 116 music control you in a negative way, but you can let mainstream hip hop control you in a negative way.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, I just had a way to put it. I can't remember how I was going to word it, but basically, like, the music you listen to has so much more of an effect on you than you think it does.
Facts.
And, my story with that is that I had never really listened to mainstream music, and then one time a couple years ago or 3 years ago, I thought like, hey, I'll give it a try. So, and my defense for that was like, I'm a mature enough Christian to know that stuff is bad, and I won't like do any of that stuff. But like music is such a huge influencer on just like the way it works. Like for me, I'm just an extremely musical person. Like music is just kind of in my blood. But the thing with like just anyone is that when they listen to music that they really like, that has a good beat, and they think, oh, this sounds good, they think like, oh, I don't care about the values, I won't do that bad stuff it says. But like you would be surprised at how much of an impact that music has on your morality. Like I was starting to like have a lot of like bad thoughts, and I even like slipped up with like cussing a little bit, and that's something I thought I would never do. And I realized like, man, this music has had a much bigger impact on me than I realized. Like I thought like, oh, it's okay, I'll just ignore it, and I'm a mature enough Christian to not do that stuff. But music controls you, man. Like you like garbage in, garbage out. That's what was happening with me. So if you just have to feed yourself the good stuff, like what's with 116, and promote those values within your life, and you just be surprised at the music, what impact the music has on you.
Yeah. Also, like I remember, also in 8th grade, I was Jake and I went to a Flame concert, and so I started listening to him more. There were like 15 kids, so this was when Flame wasn't popular. But then he had,
oh geez,
he had Start Over, and like that song blew up. That song was what made Flame popular, I think. You should probably ask him yourself.
Because like NF is on it, was on it.
Yeah, and just the song, like it reached so many people. It reached me too, and it was just like a really encouraging song to my faith. And like my faith isn't defined by music, but it was super encouraging. And like every day I get encouraged by that music. Like I listen to like High Note by Gavi and Joy by Zonti, and every time I listen to those songs, like I'm always reminded of how blessed I am by God. And it's so encouraging. And I would not have, my faith would not be the same if it wasn't for their music, man. That's real talk.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for that. So, I think a lot of people just say like I'm gonna listen to this and then it's not gonna like affect me. Or like, I just really kind of think like people need to stop sleeping on music and the impact. People need to stop sleeping on the impact of 116 music that is happening on the world. Like, I just feel like churches need to be riding behind it more. Because, like, I feel like if, like, all the churches did that, then the youth would be so much stronger in their faith. Like, I just strongly believe that so much. That if pastor would be like, hey, what do you listen to? Maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try listening to 116. I would, like, be super surprised if they started listening to that music and they still stayed in, I want to say, like, you can't be a Christian and listen to, like mainstream music, but I'm saying, like, I think there's a really strong correlation between the youth today and their, like how they feel about Christ and the music that they listen to.
Yeah.
I would say, like, that's a good way to sum it.
Definitely.
So, you guys kind of, like, dabbled in this, but how is 116 music unique?
It's got Jesus. Jesus is unique.
That's the biggest thing. And then going off of that, I'd say like, it's still, I mean, not all 116 or not 116, not all Christian rap is like the best musically. As with any genre of rap, you have like the higher end that has really good stuff, and then just a little bit lower end. All like mainstream rap has that too. Like there's just a spectrum of songs that are like okay, and then songs that are really good. But the thing that's like so unique about that is that I think in our culture today, a lot of people like just wave off Christian rap music because they think like, oh, it's just a bunch of corny lyrics and it's not good musically and it's just like the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
But I think what people don't understand is that it's addressing the same issues that a lot of mainstream rap issues, just from a different perspective. And people wave it off as like, oh, it might talk about like things that they see as like good or whatever, but it's like really boring musically and doesn't sound good. But there's so much Christian rap that sounds good. Like all the Christian artists I know may not have started off the best, but they are growing in their musical abilities and their lyrical abilities. And it's not only like super good to listen to, it like feeds your mind like positivity and all these good values, but it's just so much fun to listen to too.
Yeah. And if you guys have ever heard of Quavo, you probably have. My guy Flame actually sounds like him, but obviously he's better. But you know, like I think they sound similar, and it's just like, see, the 116, like they know how to adapt to hip hop and the culture of it, and like the flows of artists happening right now, and like Lecrae, he is partnering with Cornell College to study how good are like the flows of rap today. Like you can't tell me that he's not serious about what he's doing. Like his album coming out, it's gonna be so good. I'm so pumped for it. But yeah.
And so would you guys say that like to have like purposeful, positive, impactful lyrics, you don't have to trade that off for good beats? Like it's not a trade-off. Like you can have both of them together. And 116 music and other CHH artists make that possible.
Yeah, they absolutely make it possible. And
one more,
one
more thing that makes 116 music more like unique is that I think that you can get closer to the artists than like mainstream people, because like
you mean like meeting them?
Yeah, like we met Lecrae and Annie Mineo for what was it 150, and then I've heard that Drake concerts are like $800 just to see him for like a nosebleed, man. Like we got to meet them
for less than $200.
And after the concert, RG, No Big Deal, and Words Played hung out after, and people whoever wanted to meet him got to meet him for free. And then like we were just at Life Fest and we met
Yeah.
all the Christian hip hop artists. Like I gave a letter to Gavi, he sent me a hat, and like you can meet the artists and you can, and like I'm just DMing a couple of them, and like you could just have a personal relationship with them, and it's just so cool because like you can connect with them on a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say that's a benefit of them. It might be like, of course, you could view it as a bad thing that like they're not as famous just because the world ignores them because of their values, but it's also could be a good thing because the less famous they are, the easier it is to like access them personally. Like VIP tickets are so much cheaper.
Yeah. And the same thing with Jesus being unique is that at the same time he won't be popular either. So that's why CHH isn't popular.
Yeah.
It should be, but it's not because it has Jesus in it.
So back to like kind of what Michael was saying was that we were at Life Fest and we met like a bunch of artists, and Flame actually said that he wants to do or I told him about my YouTube channel, the thing that you guys are watching right now, and I asked him if he could do explanation with me, and he said he said he's down for that. And George Moss said that he wants to do one too. So if I can like figure out like a way to do that with them and like a time slot, because they're like super busy, but like that might be coming up soon, guys, so stay tuned. So this has been like 15 plus minutes already, and we got 3 questions left, so I think we are going to cut this right now, and we're gonna do a part 2. We're gonna do part 1, part 2 series. So we got a couple more questions for you guys, so this is gonna be part 2 series, and we'll see you guys in the next one. You guys want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, nothing much other than what I said before. Just awesome to be here.
Yeah. It's an honor.
Sweet. See you guys in my next
later,
video.
guys.
Blessings.
Peace.